Hello and welcome to another StripyCubing video. I'd just like to apologise right now and say that I did sort of promise to try and make some videos over sort of exam period or sort of leading up to exam period and things. I was just too concentrated on exams. I've just finished my second year at uni. I'm still here at uni, just to be here in the last few weeks to mill around Manchester and whatnot. But I thought I'd try and get back in and make videos again. So I greatly apologise for not making videos for you guys. Hopefully some of you are still here and going to be watching this video. I thought I'd just talk about the 4 current cubes really that are on the market. I know that the GTS version 2M has just been released. I think it's a mass-produced thing. I haven't been keeping up much with cubing news at the moment. I believe that's available exclusively through the Cubicle or something. I'm not sure. But I thought I'd talk about the 4 main players to be most people's mains. You're probably going to be using one of these 4, and just sort of go through just sort of a basic comparison really, sort of how they feel and maybe what sort of cuber would appreciate each one. So I'm going to go through from oldest to newest. So I'll start off with the GTS version 1. This is the primary insides black caps. So I believe this one does feel a little bit different from the regular black. As you can see, I restickered this in a slightly funny colour scheme. But overall this is a lovely cube. I mean, it's probably the weakest of the 3, just due to its stability. It is incredibly wobbly, and it's something that the GTS version 2 fixed. But it feels smooth. This isn't fully broken in, it was never one of my mains. But it's an incredibly smooth cube. Moyu cubes take a long time to break in to be nice and smooth, but it's lovely and smooth. It's a little bit gunky at the moment. It's as I said, it's wobbly. Therefore, if you're quite a rough turner, I find that this cube probably isn't for you. Just because the stability means that, or the instability means that you're probably going to be ending up trying to corner cut like that. You might get the odd catch here and there. It won't flow as nicely. This was rectified with magnets. I have not magnetised one. This is my only GTS. Apparently it improves it amazingly well, and it's quite an easy thing to do because this is capped. And there are lots and lots of tutorials out there to show you how to magnetise them, or I believe you can, if you're prepared to pay $50 or something, prepared to buy one from the Cubicle. These are, this is a nice cube, and it's 56mm, so it's going to fit most people's perfect size. I actually prefer bigger cubes, although I am using a really small cube. But yeah, it's relatively inexpensive as well. For a top cube, so I'd have a look into it if you haven't picked one up already. I mean, most people watching this probably have picked one up. But yeah, I'll move on to the next one, which was the Gans Air. This is the first release of the Gans Air, I believe. So I don't have the green and purple and blue springs. I think I've got the yellow ones in here. Yes, I do. I have the yellow ones in here. So they're the closest to that. So they're the most springy, most flexible. This is probably my least favourite cube out of the 4. There we are. I'll just go, it comes with standard half brights. These are the original stickers. I don't chip stickers, but I've heard that Gans stickers are pretty poor if you're a sticker chipper. So just be aware of that. So maybe get a replacement set. Personally, I don't like half brights. I don't like orange, this particular orange. I don't like fluorescent yellow, but they're incredibly all high contrast. So as stock stickers, half brights are probably the best for a speed cube to come with. But actually, down to the performance, I mean, it cuts pretty well. Mine's still on quite tight tensions. It is incredibly light. It feels so light. There are several things I don't like about this cube. One is the feeling of the plastic. It feels kind of like old plastic. You know, when you've had an old plastic toy and it's been left out in the sun for years and years and years. That's what this plastic feels like, and I don't like Gans plastic for that reason. I thought this was going to feel chunky and lovely, and it just feels kind of old and cheap. I don't like it. It performs incredibly well. I mean, I can't knock it for that. I'm quite an accurate turner as well. I find when I'm being a little bit rougher, I get catches on the corners like that. That bugs the hell out of me so much. One way that I managed to sort of rectify it a little bit was to get these corners, and certainly on the original release of the Air, these corners are tensionable in the fact that you can just sort of unscrew them by, you know, half a turn or something, and it will make them a little bit more wobbly, and it did reduce that catching just a little bit. But that catching's probably down to the fact that these corners, I don't know whether I can get it in the light, are so sharp. When you compare it to something like, even like a Volk, which still is quite sharp, it's slightly rounded still. This is an incredibly sharp corner, and I think that's, if it was just slightly more rounded, even to the Volk, or even down to the original GS standard, you wouldn't get that catch. So I don't know whether any people who are into modding a puzzle as expensive as this have tried that. I don't know. This was never really my main. I played around with it for a bit, and it is nicely broken in, and it's an excellent performing cube. The downside to it is that it is incredibly expensive. I would not recommend this to any new cube at all. On top of that, if you don't like setting up cubes and you find things incredibly fiddly, don't get this cube either. I think it's something for someone that quite likes setting up cubes, likes playing around with tensions, rather than somebody who just likes to grab something out of the box, break it in, play with it, end of. This is a cube for somebody that enjoys the, I suppose, the engineering side of cubing as much as the solving part. Just bear that in mind when you may be searching for a new cube. Birthday, Christmases, obviously Christmases, months and months away. Yeah, I kind of like it, but I kind of hate it at the same time. I don't know which one of these I dislike the most. Partly because of its weight, this feels as though it's almost not there. It's also incredibly quiet, so if you like quiet cubes, this is nice. Now down to the top two, in my opinion. This is the Volk. I do also have a magnetised one that I magnetised myself. I don't like magnetic cubes that much, and certainly I find that the magnets ruin the Volk a little bit. The Volk is incredibly loud. If you don't like loud cubes, forget about this one. This one's really loud. This one's smooth. Not smooth in the way that the GTS is smooth, where it's more swishy, or the Air where it's silent, but kind of swishy. This is kind of, I want to say bubbly, but I don't know, it's not sandy, it's not bubbly, it's nothing like, you know, it's, I suppose it's maybe like someone who's put a little bit of grit in some butter. That's the feeling that you get. You got to get a lot of feedback from it, and I love that about my cubes. Getting that feedback, knowing yes, I have made that turn. I've made a U2 or a U, for example. I know what I've done. It's also quite small. I don't like the smallness of cubes. The same with the GTS V2, but it probably performs the best. or performs as one of the best cubes. So I can live with the small size of it. I do get the occasional catch here and there. That's mainly due to lazy corner cutting. It's mainly on the reverse. I have mine on pretty tight tensions, to be fair, but it won't reverse at all there, and that's when I get the catches. So if you're a rough, to be fair, if you're a rough turner, you've got to work on your turning, to be fair. But I sometimes find when I'm really in the zone, I'm cubing as fast as I possibly can. I'm upping my TPS a little bit. My TPS is crap, but when I'm upping that a little bit, I kind of feel that, and it bugs me. But it was by far the nicest cube I'd used until this arrived at the post. This came with standard half brights. I just replaced the yellow because I didn't have a replacement orange. But this kind of feels like you got the GTS and the Volk and you squished them together. It's incredible how everyone says that, and it's really, really true. If you haven't tried one of these things and you like both of these cubes for their different qualities, you like the real smoothness of that, but you like the performance of this and the stability of this, get this. Just try it. Just at least try it. It's phenomenal. I don't know, because it's a Moyu puzzle, it kind of feels smooth and glossy and lovely in your hand anyway. It's just so smooth, but it has that slight amount of responsive feedback that it's not quite as extreme as the Volk, but just enough that you know what kind of move you've done. The corners as well, although squared off, are sort of that slightly rounded off, somewhere in between the Volk and the GTS. Which means that not only does this have superior, this is on even tighter tensions than my Volk. That's not going to do it now. It was doing it last night, maybe it's a different side. I don't know, it somehow, line to line reverse is just effortless. I don't understand how, when you look at the mechanisms, they're all near identical. Other than this, which is a little bit weirder. But this just somehow, it corner cuts as though it's an ordinary turn. Like, it doesn't feel like you're even corner cutting. It's incredible. I don't know what it is about it. It's just, oh god, I love this cube so much. The only downside to this is that it only comes in 55mm. I miss 57mm puzzles. I still go back to my Weilong just for that 57mm feel. But just try this cube. It's just, I know this is a pretty crap comparison, but I wanted to get a video out. It's I don't know, it performs probably the best out of the four of them. It, without any modifications, just setting up the puzzle and breaking it in and then cleaning it all out and applying lube. That's it. You don't have to do anything to it. It's, with all the others, some people say, oh, magnets improve this. I felt a magnetic GTS. Certainly it definitely feels as though this becomes more stable. I obviously haven't felt a magnetic one of these. This is stable enough as it is. I can't understand why anyone would want a more wobbly, or rather a more stable cube. And to make the air heavier, which is sort of makes it redundant, really. But this just does it without needing any modification. I hate to say it, but I think this might be the perfect 3x3, other than its size. If this came in 57 and 50 and 42, whatever, some ridiculously tiny size, like the Zanchi did years and years and years ago, this would probably be the best cube ever. I don't know. Also, what's weird is this doesn't have holes in the corners. So, although, weirdly enough, it's still really, really loud. I don't understand that. But yeah, it doesn't have that kind of hollowy feel like the Volk. If you're wondering which one's from lightest to heaviest, lightest, obviously. Then probably the GTS. Then the GTS V2, and then the Volk, which is considerably heavier than all the others, and that's unmagnetised. I have a magnetic Volk, and it's really heavy. It's quite off-putting. But yeah, try this out. It's quite difficult to find these in the UK at the moment. I got mine from UK Cube Store, had a lot of problems getting it. It was like over a month before it arrived. It did eventually get there. I think he obviously had some sort of backlog of orders or something. I think they might be available. I can't remember the company now. One of the UK Cube Store companies. It's not I don't think it's on Corner Twist. I think it's on one of the others. But I think they have it in stock now. Failing that, there is always the Cubicle that do always send things out really, really quickly. And as far as I'm aware, are a bit cheeky on import as well. I've ordered things that have been like 70 quid's worth, and they've put the value of it down as being about 11 quid. Therefore I have not paid import, which is frightening, quite frankly. But yeah, if you haven't picked one of these up already, you are insane. Alright, hopefully I can get more videos out for you guys. I know I've been neglecting my channel over the past few months. I'm sorry, but my degree is worth more than you are. I'm just going to put that bluntly. Oh, also, this is hilarious. Right, I'll leave that with you. Goodbye.